Hello and welcome. My name is Shasta Roberts and welcome to another week of My Book Club where we read my book, Stronger Than Your Excuses. So welcome and let's get started. This week we are on excuse number 12. I'll have to share my kids. When I think about not being married to my husband, I get emotional just thinking about having to share my kids. My life consists of a breakdown where I take care of them 80% or more of the time. I have help getting them ready in the morning, but I take them to school. I pick them up from school and I do the grocery shopping for them to have food for dinner and in their lunches. I take them to their sports and sometimes have to juggle more than one drop off and pick up at the same time. I also make sure they are getting their homework done. I'm their primary caretaker. Getting a divorce would mean my husband would be required to finally step up and take care of the kids. As we currently sit, I get to have someone back my decisions and be on the same team as me. We parent as a pretty good team. We see parenting the same and are usually able to talk about any kid conflict easily. Our days can be very busy running the kids around, but we update each other on what is going on each day. Usually I am just letting my husband know where we will be. He then knows if we will be home when he gets home from work or not. Divorced couples are not on the same page. I've never met a single divorcee who said they have an amazing relationship with the other parent. I will have rules at my house and my kids will have different rules at another house. Our rules are the same now, and my husband and I agree on them. But when you split the house and start to make your own decisions on your own without having someone to soundboard them, they may change. The scariest part is I know at this stage in my life, I don't want to be alone forever. With that, I know he won't want to be either. At some point, there will most likely be step-parents brought into the fold. I can only hope I find someone that loves my children like their own. And I can only hope he finds someone that is sweet and tender to my children. More often than not, that is not the case. More often than not, at least one of the step-parents is not a good fit. When you marry someone, you marry their past as well. Whatever might be in their past is brought along into their future. This could range all over the place from emotional trauma to crazy families or even their ex-wives and children. Taking care of children is hard work. When the kids are your own flesh and blood, it makes it easier. You start out with an unconditional love for them. No matter how hard or bad the day is, they're your children, and nothing else matters. You might need a little space from them for a while because they drive you crazy, but you cannot live without them, and there is a drawn attachment to them. When you raise someone else's kids, you have to find a place in your heart to make them your own. The attachment is not naturally there, so you have to build it. It takes time and work, and you have to put in lots of effort. It's not impossible to love and care for others as your own. It is done every single day across the world, but it is a choice, and the only person making the choice can make it. I would like to think we can both put our children first, and neither of us would choose someone who wouldn't make that choice. But love is a fickle emotion. We love who we love regardless of their flaws. Love isn't something that makes complete sense, and love can make us turn a blind eye. What I could hope for is neither my husband nor I marrying someone else without not only the kids' approval, but each other's approval. It's a long shot, I know. And I might be shooting for the stars on this one. But if we were willing, we would be able to see the flaws for each other. We could help each other make sure we were keeping to our wishes of blessing our kids with good parents. In this case, it would just be their step-parent. Why you love someone cannot always be put into words. Love is a complicated, intricate feeling. Love can also be deceived by lust. When we are in a state of lust, we cannot see the difference between love and lust. The only way to see the light is through someone else. Usually family or friends help us distinguish between the real and the make-believe. But imagine if a divorcee turned to their kids and ex for guidance. That can make all the difference between adding a good or bad step-parent to the mix. It might seem unrealistic, but amazing step-parents are out there. I know, for me, I would stop at nothing less than an unparalleled step-parent. My expectation would seem high, but it's nothing more than being a good person. I would like to say I'm hopeful my husband would find someone willing to step up and be a step-parent my kids are justified to have. But there is a little bit of doubt in the back of my mind, and it is scary. I'm not sure if it is scarier for my kids to have an unsuited stepmom or be worried I might be compared to their new cool mom. What I believe my kids are warranted is actually petrifying for me. Although I'm their mom and they should have willing step-parents, I could learn I am not as good of a mom as I thought I was. I will be the one having to make them do their homework and brush their teeth. Their stepmom could just be their cool friend. I will start to have to compete for my own children's love. There will be a second me, but not me, running around in my children's lives acting the way I do towards them. Just because I know in my deepest of hearts my children are worth the best doesn't mean it will be emotionally easier for me to see my children with a loving stepmom versus a wicked stepmom. The intricacies will deepen even further when I become a parent who has designated kid weekends. I will have a weekend I have the kids and a weekend I don't. I spent the last 9 years being a mom 24/7. Now it's going to change. I knew I would have to learn to part with my kids after they graduated high school and started their own grown-up life. But this is not that time. This is where I will have times when the kids are not my responsibility, and I will have no say during those times on how they are parented. I don't want to give up responsibility for my kids. I like being a part of their every single day life, even in a small way. I don't want their dad to miss out on any of their life either. I know we both mean the world to them, and the people they want present most in their life is their dad and me. I'm grateful every day for my kids' love towards each other. No matter what comes next in life, I know the three of them have each other and will always have each other. I can say for certain it will always be the three of them. I always wanted more kids, and we had planned to have 4 kids. I wanted 5 and he wanted 3, so we compromised in the middle. After being pregnant with number 3, I decided I didn't want to be pregnant again, and I was willing to be done at 3. Pregnancy takes a toll on your body and mental state, and it was not my favorite part of the experience. I loved being pregnant and getting to eat whatever I wanted and have an excuse. But when it comes to after the birth, I could be good just fast forwarding my body 1 year. I wouldn't want to miss the first year of the baby because that is my favorite. But I could be good skipping the part where you feel like you have a deflated balloon in your tummy. No matter the body type you are, it still takes about a year to feel comfortable in your new body again. Yes, I say new body because every time you have had a baby, your body changes and it's somehow new and different. Not always for the better. The positive of the whole experience is you get to bring life into the world. The pros do outweigh the cons, but there are a lot of negatives to being pregnant. I'm not ready to take on all that again. If I could just skip and have a baby and not have to worry about my body, I'm all for that. At the same time, my kids are the perfect 3 musketeers. Yes, they would welcome a new sibling with open arms, but they're happy with just the 3 of them too. Believe me, we have talked about it. My youngest is about to turn 5 and my oldest is about to turn 10. I'm at a stage where I have no diaper bags, and bonus, they can feed themselves snacks and go to the bathroom all on their own. Life is simpler because I don't have babies anymore. I have kids who do things I like and have fun, interesting conversations. The holidays are something to consider next. I might not be able to see my kids' faces as they wake up on Christmas morning. Christmas is my favorite holiday. As a kid, it was the one time a year my parents went out of their way to make it special. We almost always spent it with family, and Santa was very giving every year. Every other day might not have been enjoyable or loving in my house, but Christmas was the one holiday where happiness was found everywhere. This is also Thanksgiving, or there's also Thanksgiving. Mind you, not as great for me as Christmas, but it is still a day filled with love. Growing up, we almost always spent Thanksgiving at my dad's parents' house. My grandma cooked the entire meal from scratch. As I grew older, I would stay the night with her to help her cook too. After watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, we would stuff ourselves with Thanksgiving dinner. Our day would end with cards around the table playing our traditional Thanksgiving game I called I'll Buy That, also known as Phase 10 or Liverpool Rummy. Then there is each of the kids' birthdays to consider. I am privileged. I get to be present on the morning of their birthday. I get to squeeze them tightly and tell them to stop growing because they are now 1 year older. I've never missed a birthday dinner or blowing out the candle. A birthday is a special day, and in our house, we call it our yes day. The one day out of the year you get to choose what you want to do. I know I was taught to share when I was a toddler, but those were just my toys. Those were not my children. I birthed to life. This sharing is all new and different, and I'm gonna have to learn how to share all over again. I don't want to share though. I want to be present with them and for them through all the special days. The part I have been dreading the most is this right here. I don't need all this time away from my kids to have to myself. I'm perfectly capable of taking care of them on my own. I don't need someone else's help, but I will have it. I know I will. I would never dream of taking them away from their dad. I just don't know how I am going to begin to share them. Playing fair sometimes can be a very hard concept, especially when it is with something so personal to you. This is like a bad dream. This is not what I had in mind when I married. This is not what I had in mind when I had children. I have stayed married and given my children a home that constitutes both of their parents. Not 2 homes they must bounce back and forth between. I've not had to share them, and I stayed for them. I cannot continue to stay just so I don't have to share them when staying makes me so miserable. All outcomes will be hard for me. Although I am the one who chooses this path, it does not mean it is easy. The road ahead is unknown and dark, and light might be dim for a while, but not forever. I cannot have my cake and eat it too. It will be hard for me either way, but it will be preferable for my kids to have happy parents together or apart. All right, there is another chapter Make sure that you give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. I'd love to know what you think. And hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get notifications when I post a new chapter. And I will see you guys next week for our last couple chapters of the excuses before we go into my reasons. See you guys next week. Bye.